supposed to be a train, or are you just trying to annoy us? I think it's a train.
All aboard the Orient Express.
Oh, Orient.
We are the Bro Force Squad, here to review Kenneth Branagh's latest film, Murder on the Orient Express. Now, I am your conductor, Brian Banner, and in bed 3, we have our used car salesman, Jeff Hornacek, and in bed 11, we have our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. As always, we grade all of our movies on 5 categories, but tonight we have an extra challenge for you guys. Figure out which one of us killed Matthew F. Geiger. Now, since we have a murderer among us, without any further ado, Ronnie, start us off with your thoughts on the cast.
First of all, that was just terrible.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm going to be the one to kill you.
It wasn't that bad.
Just, you know, in all honesty, I'm going to go that the cast, I mean, obviously this is a star-studded cast. And honestly, they met expectations. And one in particular exceeded expectations, and that was Josh Gad. So, in all honesty, this was the first time I thought he did a good job in a movie. He took himself seriously, as Jeff and I were talking about earlier. But in general, the cast was pretty spot on for a cast that has high expectations. Sometimes it can be very hard to meet that. And I thought everyone knocked it out of the park, save for, maybe Dame Judi Dench. Maybe she was kind of pointless in the movie, but, you can't ever get mad at her.
Yeah, I don't think it was hard for Josh Gad to exceed expectations. I will say that he didn't annoy the shit out of me like he has in every other movie he's been in.
Well, that means he deserves an Oscar if he didn't annoy you.
Maybe, but probably not. Somebody that stood out to me in a negative way was Penelope Cruz. Like, why? Is she in movies?
Now that she's lost her fastball, a.k.a. her hotness, yeah, she's really not that great of an actor.
And is she in any movie that Johnny Depp is not in?
Is Johnny Depp in Vanilla Sky?
She was really hot in Dogma.
There we go.
And he's not in that, so
yeah,
there.
But in the last 10 years.
No.
I rest my case.
Yeah. Horns, who stood out to you as far as cast?
So I want to highlight, shout out to Matt Geiger who can't be on the pod tonight, the original Selena Kyle, Michelle Pfeiffer. Yo, she's still got it. Doesn't do too many roles. She was just in Mother, which was cool to see. She's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp in a year and a half. She was great in this movie, and she had a lot to do. And then Kenneth Branagh, let's just tip our cap real quick. To direct and star in a movie, yeah, it's a little vain, a la Jon Favreau, but when he fucking pulls it off like this, you need to do it more often, bro. He was incredible.
And when you have a mustache like that, you're always going to get a tip of the cap.
Yeah, leave some chicks for the rest of us, dude.
No kidding. Guys, moving right along, let's go to story and plot. What did we think of the story? Jeff, let's start with you on this one.
So I did not see the original, Banner. I'll leave that to you. And I did not read the Agatha Christie novel. But I will say this. This story, man, are we doing spoilers on this? We're spoiling this for people?
Yeah, we'll spoil it for people.
All right, so spoilers, guys. It has a unique ending that I was not expecting, but, and I think Cycle will get to this, it did not close in a way that delivered the type of results I thought. I don't even know how to fucking explain this.
It doesn't make sense. No, I agree.
I'll just defer to Cycle. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the ending, but the way they connected was weird a little bit.
Yeah, for me it was the first hour and a half of the film was fantastic. And wait, we're spoiling, so you obviously know all of them committed the murder. And that idea is fantastic, like you just said. It was a great twist. I didn't see it coming. But for some reason, the delivery of that, there was something lacking. And it's hard to put my finger on it. But it felt like we were being told this amazing story, and then there was something missing, and then boom, we were all of a sudden told what happened, where there was no connection there. And that's what kind of irked me a little bit in a really weird way. And it's hard to define.
And also, Cycli ordered some chicken fingers that I don't think he enjoyed during the movie, so maybe that gets part of it.
They were coconut breaded chicken fingers.
I don't know what he was thinking. Banner, what do you got?
That's a rookie mistake on your
No, Wayner recommended that.
If you're going to get anything breaded with coconut, it's got to be shrimp.
The shrimp was an option. It was $2 more.
See,
story, I did see the original, so I knew if they were going to go along the same story, which pretty early on, it was almost word for word the original for the first 10 to 15 minutes, which I wasn't a big fan of, but once it got going, there were very subtle changes throughout the whole thing. I liked the story. I didn't so much think that the twist was that they were all connected and that they all committed the murder. Yes, that was a twist, but I thought the bigger part of the story was him not giving them away to the police and saying, yes, they all killed this guy. That it was him keeping it to himself because he likes balance so much. He likes everything being in order and kind of justice always being served. And he's this great detective, but yet he now has that same secret to keep, and he's letting all these people heal. And he really understood by the end of the movie why they did what they did. That was how I took it. But I thought it was great. There was a lot of little nuances that I absolutely loved about it. And they didn't do a great job of connecting all 12 people. But how in 2 hours are you going to connect 12 people to a murder and really a character that we never even meet in Daisy Armstrong?
Unless they all share an STD from the same person, it's pretty hard to do that.
Which I would kill Ratchet if he did that too.
Agreed.
So,
and there was that scene, they kind of hint at it early on, it just depends on how much you're paying attention, where he's obviously saying these stab wounds make no sense. And there's 12 of them, and we had already been told there's 12 passengers. And so that kind of, there's a little hint there, but, I obviously wasn't looking at that. Now that in retrospect, I can point to that scene, and that makes a lot of sense.
I would have stabbed Johnny Depp to death just for making Alice in Wonderland 2.
Oh, 100%. You could even throw Tim Burton in the room. That'd be fine, too.
Yeah. No one's crying over that.
But guys, one was in his dick. Like, he's really...
He slipped.
Yeah. If that's not your best scene, then I want to know what is. Cycly?
So, okay, I'm not going to go... This is going to be a little different. I'm not going to go about this in terms of the best scene and, I'm going to want to rewatch that scene again. I'm going to talk about, the directing and the camera work. It's early on in the film when they first get into the train, and Michelle Pfeiffer is talking to Kenneth Branagh, and the camera work is outside the train and follows them along the train while they're talking inside. And it's just really, in just filmmaking, well done. Obviously, one shot, no editing, and it was just really fun to watch. And like I said, it's nothing iconic. We're never going to look back at that movie and say, oh, that's the best scene in the movie, but when a director does that and pulls it off and the actors do that, it's just something as someone in the audience just can sit back and enjoy and say, I watched real theater acting almost.
That was cool, too, because you could tell this was a day where everybody was on set at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, the bagel tray on set was the finest it's ever been.
No, Gad ate that before anyone even got close.
Yeah, that didn't even make it in the door. Horns, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was right after the murder takes place. And Kenneth Branagh's character, the detective Poirot, which, by the way, that mustache, that needs to be a thing that exists in modern society today. I mean,
it also might be a Broforce Squad Hall of Fame nominee.
Yeah, I think just his mustache.
Just
Banner,
his mustache.
You can do it.
I could. I was actually talking to Mrs. Banner about it. I may do it.
If you do it, though, you have to get the mustache sheath that he had to protect it as well.
When he goes to bed every night.
It's an investment. Jesus.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is right after the murder takes place, and he walks out into the main train car and basically says, all right, everybody, there's been a murder. I know I have literally not talked to any of you since I got on this train, but just so you know, I'm the best detective in the world, and I know everything about every one of you. So whoever did this, you're fucked. That scene to me set up the third act incredibly and just got me really excited for the rest of the movie.
Well, and the cool thing about that, too, is that scene I'm pretty sure was in the trailer. So for them to show you such a powerful scene in the trailer and it still hit home like that in the actual movie is fantastic.
Sure.
I'm going to take low-hanging fruit here. It's got to be the last scene where he's got all 12 of them on one side of the table in the tunnel, takes them off the train, and basically says, hey, all of you are a murderer, so who's going to kill me because I'm going to tell everybody. And then Michelle Pfeiffer's all over the place in that scene.
So weird when she puts on the Catwoman uniform. It's like, come on.
It was, but it wasn't.
But it worked for her.
It worked.
Yeah.
That scene was just fantastic done where he goes through and explains how everybody's connected and how everybody did it. and why they did it, and he understands that they did it, and then she picks up the gun that obviously he knew wasn't loaded, tries to shoot herself. Very powerful scene. I think that it was just beautifully done in the storytelling. Let's move on to our fourth out of fifth category, impact on pop culture. Who? I'll go first on this one. I don't think it's going to be real huge. One thing that I do appreciate, though, is this is an old style way of storytelling.
Yeah.
This is not how we tell stories in movies in today and newer movies and things like that we're used to going and seeing. This is an older style that you see from those classic, like a Casablanca or even the original. I mean, like I said earlier, it's almost word for word at times of the original. But being that it's an old style way of telling it, and them to bring that back and do it well and make a good movie in modern times, I think that shows that film is alive and creativity is alive and well in Hollywood. Cycly, what are your impacts?
So the second this movie was done, I looked over to Hornacek and I said, my favorite kind of movie and story are the delicious whodunits, and whodunit is one word. And you're right, you don't see these as much. We see thrillers and we see suspense and we see some type of twist endings. But in terms of just from start to finish, one mystery, and you're in the room with the actual actors, with the murderer, and you're in there trying to figure out just like the characters. And you're right, we don't see that often. That being said, in terms of, is this going to be a game changer? No, because it's almost a shot-for-shot remake, like you said, of an original movie, of a book. I think you're seeing a lot of some negative reviews of this film because of what we just said, because it's a shot-for-shot remake, and
fuck them,
and kind of saying what was the point of making a remake if you're not going to change anything. But it's a classic novel. At the end of the day, it's a great movie. It's an enjoyable movie. Does it do anything? Probably not. But you know what? If you want to go see have thoughts on your head the whole time, like who did it, this is a perfect movie for you.
Yeah, to those critics, what's the point in remaking it? Good point. Nothing's ever gotten better with 40 years of time. Everyone alive has probably seen that movie. Oh, wait, they could have grandchildren if they were born when that happened. Impacts for me, not that big. It's sandwiched in between Ragnarok and Justice League, so it's not going to do crazy at the box office. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll just say this. I want more Kenneth Branagh. I don't care if he's on screen or behind the camera. He did both in this film. The guy's a hidden gem in Hollywood. He's a good talent. He's not otherworldly or transcendent, but he makes solid movies. I'm going
to recommend a really small movie that he did that a lot of people don't recognize or know about. But seriously, if you ever heard of it, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
Fantastic film.
Wrap us up.
I hate that. Of the Harry Potter franchise, I cannot stand that one. That's a whole different pod that we can argue about later. But that is the storyline that I can't stand. Rewatchability, guys, on this one, be honest with you, for me, it's not that high. It is a mystery. You know what the mystery is. I may watch it once or twice in my lifetime again, just go, oh, yeah, that was a good one, or watch it with somebody that's never seen it before to go, oh, what are your thoughts on this? But the twist is given away, the surprise is away. Not going to watch it a whole lot. Doesn't take away. I thought it was a great movie, but not going to watch it again. Cycly.
For me, I agree. Same way. I will have no problem rewatching this with a group of friends that haven't seen it, with the wife who hasn't seen it. If people want to Redbox it, Netflix it, whatever, I'll happily watch it and not complain, but I'm not going to be by myself seeking it out. The whole thing about mystery, just because it's a mystery film doesn't mean it's not rewatchable. There's movies that I love to rewatch that are thrillers, that are twists. In a silly way, the movie Clue is a thriller, is a mystery, and it's hilarious. But I could rewatch that movie 100 times, and I know who did it every time. This movie, for some reason, like I said, it's just it is what it is. It's a good film, but there's nothing really to be gained by the viewer experience watching it multiple times.
Horns.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. The thing I always like to tell our bros at home, I think this is worth your $15. Go see it. Now, the one thing about this, you can't be hammered drunk because you do actually have to kind of pay attention to get the full experience. It's a fun watch. It's less than 2 hours, I promise, even though it might feel like more than that. But yeah, once you know the twist, It's a one-time view, and next weekend, I mean, it's Justice League time. There's bigger movies at the theater, but it's worth seeing once for sure, and share it with your friends if they haven't seen it.
Guys, we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Go ahead and check us out on our website, broforcesquad.com. Give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at BroForceSquad. And don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes and on YouTube. Again,
Wait. Who killed Geiger?
I think all of us.
Oh, we all stabbed him.
We all stabbed him.
He's so fat. How can we get
Honestly,
all of it?
it was team building for us. It was part of the.
We did do the trust fall.